right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on NFL wise. We're just coming off what is it, is it week 6? 7?
Week 6, yeah, 6.
Yeah, coming off week 6. I think it was a handful of blowouts, some close games that came down to the wire. And then not to mention today we got some kind of sort of live stuff going on with the trade deadline. We got some big trades that have happened over the past few hours today. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Tyler take us away, and we're gonna get right into it.
Yeah, like you said, jumping into the trades, Amari Cooper to the Bills, Devontae Adams to the Jets. First of many trades, if you want me to be honest. We're probably going to start seeing a pump out this week. Just everybody's getting ready towards this. We're at the halfway mark almost. So people are kind of, let's move these players so we can get ready for, the draft and see what we can get. But yeah, Cooper to the Bills is kind of big right now because, they're a really solid team. They didn't losing Stephon Diggs. All they really have is Shakir and Keon Coleman. So this is a big piece for the Bills, especially for Josh Allen, a true number one receiver. So I think it's huge for Josh Allen. I think him and Cooper are going to have a pretty good connection. It might take some time, but what you think?
Well, like I was telling you earlier, I think Cooper will fit right in. I think he's a pros pro. Obviously he's out. He's been outstanding for every team that he's played for, pretty much. So, like you said, I think they'll fit in quite perfectly. Uh, Personally, I don't think he has as big of an ego as uh Stephon Diggs. Not trying to disrespect him or anything like that, but you know,
Yeah.
um, I,
I mean,
I
he's
think
put up with Cleveland for all these years, so I guess he's fine.
I think he'll make a bigger impact for that team than Devontae Adams will for the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Devonte Adams trade was, to be honest, a little overrated. To be honest, because they need more. They need other things. What is this going to do? Aaron Rodgers is back there running for his life. Devonte Adams doesn't pass block. Their offensive line is trash,
Yeah.
terrible. So what does this mean for? I mean, they brought in Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, and now you're bringing in Devonte. You still got Brees Hall and all these other people you got to get the ball to. So I don't think it'll kill Garrett Wilson. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of possessions away from him. But yeah,
I think
I don't know.
I think
I think it's like I said, the Jets are in a panic. They had to do something. They brought in Aaron Rodgers. He got hurt. You just fired your coach. They're pointing fingers, and then the Jets are playing terrible. So it's a win at all cost right now. So you just got to start doing something to make this Aaron Rodgers bringing him in make sense. Because if he's going to go win 4 or 5 games, well, they could have just stuck with Zach Wilson to do that.
yeah, I think a couple of things. There's gonna be a couple of things that come out of this. So number one, you'll really be able to determine like, is he really gonna make that much of a difference, or is it just Aaron Rodgers? He kind of's on the decline. That's number one. Number two is I think, like you were saying, yeah, Garrett Wilson may lose some possessions, he may lose some touches, but I think he'll benefit from having another really good receiver opposite to him. Um, I think it'll help him and Al Lazard, honestly, because they were performing they were performing pretty good so far this season. But adding in Devontae Adams, you could probably move the other two guys around, and then Devontae Adams is going to be like your guy. Um, First off, it's somebody that Aaron Rodgers is comfortable with. He knows how and where to get the ball to Devontae Adams. He knows his spots. He knows pretty much everything about him because they played together for so long. Hey. So
Yep.
I think that's one thing. And then with like you said, the offensive line too. I think they probably could have explored maybe they might not be done making trades yet. I think if they can shore up that offensive line, that will help because even if you bring in Devontae Adams, it doesn't mean that Aaron Rodgers is going to be kept off his back.
Yep. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. But what is this? I mean, you got to move on from somebody because, I mean, I think Mike Williams is probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
So they'll probably end up trading him or moving on from him. Because Alan Lazard, same way, play with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They already have that connection. So, but yeah, that's all for that. But it's like you said, blowouts. I want to start with the first blowout. I don't know what's going on with Dallas. They're all over everything right now. Um, Jerry Jones telling people, that it's not their job for them to be worried about what he's doing and all kinds of stuff. I posted, him going off on the radio reporter, whoever he was talking to on our TikTok. So if you want to go listen to that, go listen to that. But yeah, I don't know what they got going on.
I told you, their best shot to win that Super Bowl was last year, and Dak choked it away. But
They
this year,
didn't
I
make
don't.
any. They didn't make any moves. Like, okay, you let Tony Pollard walk, and you brought back Zeke. He's washed. He's way out of his prime.
They hardly even use him, anyways. On top of that, so they just at that day they're a big head scratcher right now because
CeeDee Lamb's
the
playing like trash.
the team
They're
on
all
paper looks good, but they're playing terrible. They're playing terrible football.
their
So
defense is hurt, playing terrible. They got absolutely embarrassed on national television. The
yeah,
Lions beat the
unfortunate.
absolute brakes off of them. They didn't even score a touchdown.
It's unfortunate that Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
Oh, they said he's going to be out for like 12 to 18 months. They said he was going to be out for a long time, at least a
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that sucks.
So yeah,
He was having a defensive player of the year type of season too.
yeah. So I'm curious to see what they do. They're Super Bowl ready. Like they're playing out of the Lions are playing some good football. And
Yep.
that's a huge loss on your defensive side. If not, I don't think it would cost them from going to the Super Bowl. But, somebody that's a game wrecker like that, I don't know how many sacks he had last year, probably in the teens. But, it's hard. You got to be able to replace somebody like that. So, yeah,
I think I think they should make a trade. Like
they
you
the
were
cow the Cowboys got to get something figured out because if not, this this giving Dak $60 million is going to be one of the worst contracts in ever.
it already was. I don't understand why they gave him that much money. I've said it plenty of times. It's probably like a broken record at this point. I don't
Yeah,
understand how you give him that much money and he hasn't even made it to a conference championship. Let alone if you go look at his postseason numbers, they're kind of gaudy. They're not really that great. Like you're pretty much one and done just about every season, and that's if you make the playoffs. I think
yeah,
the furthest they've gotten is the divisional, and that's it.
yeah. And that was Dak's like first year.
Now his first year they were good, but they lost in the first round
Yeah,
because
like
they
it was his
that
first
was
couple years.
yeah. So I just
It
like you
hadn't
said,
been
I don't.
recent.
It just unreasonable contract. They could have just let him play it out and then let him walk in free agency and then just move on.
Yep. Another person, like another blowout, another person that got one of those contracts that didn't make any sense is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know what their problem is. They suck. They're gonna fire Doug Peterson when they get back from London. They're in London again this week. They got back to back weeks in London.
Yeah.
If they get beat by the Patriots, they're firing Doug Peterson. If they don't
Oh yeah.
already.
Now
Travis,
as far as Trevor Lawrence
they're
contract,
just terrible. Both sides excuse me, they're just terrible both sides of the ball. Offensively, fumbling the ball all over the place, can't nobody catch. Defense, I think me and you could beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm not gonna comment on that because you know how I feel about it. But look, as far as Trevor Lawrence's contract, I understand why he got as much money as he did because they understand, given his potential with the right people around him, he can look
Yeah, but
really good.
that's hard to say because,
Plus, he
he's got a decent team around him.
and
They suck.
it's not decent. I don't know how many times I gotta say that's not decent at all. Their defense is nothing like what it used to be, and offensively,
I mean, they got a better team on paper than the
it's
Kansas
really
City
what you say.
Chiefs.
Absolutely not.
Christian Kirk's better than whoever they got, better than Juju Smith.
We're talking about though.
That's hands
We're not
down.
talking about
Gabe,
we're not
Gabe
talking about
Davis is
injury.
better than.
We're not
Yeah,
talking
but
about the
still,
injured Kansas City
The
Chiefs. We're
Chiefs
talking
won.
about a fully healthy Kansas City Chiefs roster is tons better than a fully healthy Jaguars roster. We both know that. Come on now.
Oh well, yeah, but I'm just saying the Jaguars got a good team.
No, they do not.
I mean,
Not even. If they had a
then
good
I don't
team,
know
they'd
why
be
they
winning Super
then
Bowl already.
they need to move off of Trevor Lawrence then
It's not
because
him. He has to have the right people around him. If you look, I keep telling you,
he's
look at
got
his
a
stats.
top 10 running back. Well, not anymore because Trevor Etienne. I don't know what his problem is. He went from good to he sucks. He done
Look at
lost
his
his
stats.
job to Tank Bigsby.
Look at Trevor Lawrence's stats from last season when he had an elite wide receiver one, and you tell me that he couldn't replicate that if he had an elite wide receiver one every single season. Somebody who can change the game and make plays. I think Brian Thomas can be that, but he's not that in his rookie season.
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
it's not. Trevor Lawrence just has to be the quarterback and deal with the the scrutiny because his team sucks. I mean, everybody can tell you his team is not. That's
I
not
mean, Christian Kirk has had the same amount of yards as Calvin Ridley.
since he's been in the Jaguars. What has he done? Not
Let's
to
see.
mention his
In 2022, Christian Kirk had 1,100 yards. Trevor Etienne had 1,130 yards rushing. Trevor Lawrence
and
threw for 4,000 yards.
then they go
This is
to
when they made
the
the playoffs.
playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, see, and that was without Calvin Ridley. And then if you go look at his numbers with Calvin Ridley, his numbers were still good. Their defense just sucked, that's another big issue. Their defense sucks.
Christian Kirk didn't even play all year and had 800 yards. He only played 12 games
That's a lot of games.
and had 800 yards. Exactly.
Nah, you would think in games you would think you would have more than 800. So
Like he had 57 catches for 800 yards.
I mean that's good. Yeah.
I mean, he only played in 12 games, and they sucked last year, so they were probably getting beat a lot.
What were Trevor Lawrence's numbers last year?
He still threw for 4,000 yards.
Exactly. So I told you what was going to happen. If Calvin really walked, his numbers were going to drop.
Well, Calvin Ridley probably shouldn't have walked. He didn't even catch a ball last week for Tennessee.
He just
He's
that
buns
was
over
a
there.
money move. That was a money
Yeah, that
move.
was a business decision right there. He took the he went ahead and got his bag while he could. The Tennessee Titans gave this man $100 million for 1,000-yard receiver. That's ridiculous. And they
Yeah,
ain't even
but
got a quarterback they can throw the ball. Oh gosh.
they I think it was more because the Jaguars couldn't really afford to pay all the people that they have to pay, plus pay Calvin Ridley on top of that without him taking a pay cut. So he went where the money was. I get that, and it's not always the best situation. So
I don't
that's
know
just something
because
he has to deal with.
he's not even. I don't even think he's. I don't even know if he's got. I don't even know what kind of yardage he's got, but I know it's terrible.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's how going for the money plays out sometimes. So, yeah.
their leading receiver has 150 yards. 175. I'm sorry.
Will Levis is the quarterback.
Their receiving yards leader has 175 yards, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. Calvin
That's
really has 140 yards through what 6 games? That's God, Jesus.
terrible.
I'm glad he went to the Titans. That you get what you deserve sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
that's
would
true.
you go to an organization that sucks? I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even care if I was him. I got $100 million. You think I care? I'm not out here killing myself. They're not even throwing me the ball.
Oh yeah,
Um, your boy Drake May got to play. I kind of liked what I seen. To be honest, I think that they might not. I don't know if you ride with him or not. I think you play him a couple weeks, see what you got, and then pull him. You don't
no,
want him to get hurt and tear his
no,
ACL.
no, no. Play him the rest of the season.
Well, what if he gets hurt?
Well, he's got to deal with that. I mean, he's gonna have to get the experience. It's not gonna help him if he plays 2 weeks and then goes back to the bench. That's just
That's
gonna
what I'm saying. Like, play him a couple weeks, see what you got with him. You
nah.
see what he could do with
Yeah,
what
but that
they
wouldn't.
have. They still scored 21 points.
Yeah, but it still wouldn't make any sense though to sit him back on the bench. I mean, at this point, you really want to see what he can do now. So you play him the rest of the season and just
They got
this
to
is
make
what I'll say.
moves.
If he gets an injury, as long as it's something that's like I would say minor in a sense.
Yeah, as soon as he
Um,
gets hurt, Jacoby's playing the rest of the year.
yeah, yeah. If he sustains an injury, just take him out, and let Jacoby play the rest of the season because Jacoby's at this point not your franchise guy, of course. So, um, again, just to add to what you said, I like what I saw as a fan. Um, yeah, he made some mistakes, but it's gonna happen. It's your first game as a starter, and you're basically the face of the franchise. So I'm sure there was
And
some nerves.
you're playing a really good Texans defense too.
Yeah, your first start comes against one of the probably top five defenses in the league. So, like I said, 21 points. I think it was 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Um, well, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think that's what it was. Regardless, I like what I saw. Small sample size, of course. So I think by the time the end of the season gets here and going into the next season, I think he'll make probably not a crazy jump, but like you said, they got to make moves too. You got to put more pieces around him
Yeah,
and see if you can make something happen. Ramondre Stevenson, he got to go.
yeah, that's exactly what I was fixing to say. Yeah, I'd go ahead and trade him. Um, if I'm them, I'm calling some teams and seeing what kind of wide receivers I can get. Like, what do you want for this person? It's probably going to be a bidding war for a couple of them that are going to walk at the end of the year because some
Yeah.
places, T. Higgins is a free agent at the end of the year, so unless the Bengals pay him, he's going to walk.
Honestly, they might have to just let the young guys develop because it's gonna be hard to get a guy to come over there no matter how much money you give him because the team
You
is
say
really
that
bad.
Calvin Ridley took 100 mil to go play at the Titans, and he barely even plays. He barely even gets
Yeah,
the
but
ball.
he, I could see them getting like T Higgins because he's younger, so he can kind of take the money and be on a bad team because in maybe a couple of more years they might be good, might be a playoff team. So
Yeah,
like an older established veteran guy who's still at the top of their game, I think it'd be
yeah,
tough for them to come over and
it might be hard to get T Higgins because he's kind of a really good receiver.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, and that's not a really good football team. Most guys they want to compete in the postseason. So the Patriots are not a postseason team right now. I think they just let the young guys develop, drafts, continue to build your team through the draft. Let the young guys develop, and when you see
Yeah,
the chance to make a move and it's the right move, you do it.
I would try to trade for some offensive linemen.
Oh yeah, it's the offensive line is just in shambles right now. A lot of injuries. They're shuffling a lot of guys around.
I don't
They
know if
definitely
you've
got.
seen it. Yeah, I don't know what you've seen, but Russell Wilson is starting for the Steelers next week.
Well, see, I
They're
didn't see that he was
benching
starting.
Justin Fields.
I saw that he was going to get some first team reps with the team out to a 4-2 start. Um, I mean, I don't really see
Mike
anything
Tomlin
wrong.
already said it. Mike Tomlin already said it. He's
Oh, he
starting
said
next
it.
week.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, like I said, I don't see anything wrong with it. At
I
worst,
think at this point you just got to see if Russell Wilson can just be a little bit more, score a little bit more points. They
yeah,
won.
Justin Fields has won games, but I mean, you think that's off the back of the defense, and he's got him on the field.
They beat a really
So,
bad they beat a really bad Las Vegas. They beat a really bad Raiders team. So that's not really saying a whole lot.
yeah, I mean, at worst, Russell Wilson is going to give you probably his worst, but at best, he's gonna he's gonna help jumpstart that offense.
Well, and if
So
he's not what you think he is, I mean, you got Justin Fields that you've won 4 games with, so worst comes to worst, you can just put him back in there. But I think you got to see what you got with Russell Wilson,
yeah,
especially, I mean, you brought him in, so you might as well.
I
Another
agree.
team that's been struggling, they got the win. The Bengals play the Giants. The Giants just suck. It's just that simple. They're without their number one wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, and it's showing how much of a threat he is
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
are atrocious. The Bengals got to do something. Their defense sucks. Their defense is god awful, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's they're young or what, but they're terrible. And that I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't know what they're waiting on to pay Jamar for. I guess they don't have to. They really don't. They can franchise tag him twice before he's a free
yeah,
agent.
but I don't think you want to risk that with him because he was already flirting with not even playing for the whole season just because they didn't want to offer him a certain amount of guaranteed money. He turned down the deal that they offered him because it wasn't enough guaranteed money. So he's not going to sign a franchise.
Uh, yeah. I mean, but he'd have to sit. That'd be kind of stupid though. But
So
the another team that needs a little bit of help is the Seahawks. They're struggling. I mean, I don't know if it's Geno or what they got going on. McCaffrey's
mm,
supposed to play in a couple weeks too, so the 49ers
I
will get
think
him back.
I think for the Seahawks, it's probably. I mean, I think Gino is probably just coming off that heel because I mean, you got to think for past the past few seasons. Actually, he's looked really good. But yeah, I think it's it might just be that time. You might want
It's
to,
just catching up to them.
yeah, you might want to look at going to another quarterback at some point in the near future. So, because
Oh
they
yeah,
have
they're
a good
gonna. Oh,
offense.
they're gonna draft one.
Yeah, they have a good offense. The offense is more than capable. The defense is, dare I say, elite at times. They're very good. I'll just save the elite word. I try not to throw that around too much.
They're like mid tier. They're probably right in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah, I'll say somewhere right in the middle.
I another team. The Commanders put up a good fight against Baltimore. They just couldn't stop Baltimore.
I told
Jaden
you,
Daniels played a good game.
he played a great game, but I told you, man, the Ravens figured it out. Give Derrick Henry 20 plus carries a game, and you are going to win. He's going to open up your entire offense.
Yeah, the Commanders are missing something other than the defense.
Honestly,
They're
honestly, no,
missing
I don't think
something.
they. I don't think they are. I think they're good. They just played a great Ravens team. I mean, defensively, they could stand to get a little better because they're not really stopping a lot of teams. But offensively, I think they're right on track for where they want to be. They got two above average running backs. Your receiver core is pretty much set. I think you could probably maybe go get somebody and bring into the rotation. Obviously, you got personally my favorite for rookie of the year right now. Don't get me wrong, Caleb Williams is kind of starting to make it a tough decision, but Jaden Daniels has so far been the most consistent between those two as far as favorite.
Yeah, and you got to look at it. The Bears haven't played anybody. They beat up Jacksonville Jaguars. They suck.
Yeah,
Anybody could beat
yeah.
them.
So
I mean, you hung in there with the Ravens. But aside from Terry McLaurin, they really don't have any other wide receiver. They got Noah Brown and Zacchaeus.
well, I
That's
mean,
it.
they're making it work. They are
I
making
mean,
it
yeah.
work.
I mean, that just shows you what he could do with that. Imagine if they had somebody else.
Yeah, you're right.
The Bucks dominated the Saints. It was a crazy second quarter. The Saints scored 27 points in the second quarter, but after that, they didn't do nothing. The Bucks scored 50.
I think the Saints
They got them
have
a good
found their
quarterback with
quarterback.
Spencer Rattler.
Yes, they have found their quarterback of the future. I think he can be the Saints like franchise guy. He looked really good.
Yeah, it was just played a really good Bucks team. The Bucks got a good defense. They got probably one of the best offenses in the league. If you want me to be quite honest with you, Baker Mayfield when he's on, they're cooking.
Oh yeah,
They probably got the best wide receiver duo with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. The run game, they ran it really good against the Saints with uh, Bucky Irving and I can't think of the other guy's name. Sean Tucker. They had a really good game. But yeah, I think they like what they've seen from Spencer Rattler. I mean, I would have played a really good game. He brings you that Baker Mayfield. He's got that energy. Like he's a really competitive guy. He just brings he's got that Baker Mayfield energy. Um,
yeah, yeah. I was, and I'll be honest, because I was probably talking down on him because I didn't really see the kind of potential that he had coming out of college. Because I mean, he left Oklahoma,
well,
lost start.
one thing you got to look at is he's on a good Saints team, so that
That's true.
helps.
That's true. It is more a lot of times about the team that's around you. If you're a good player, a better team around you is going to make you look. So
I always heard And people always say if you're going in a later round, you want to go to a good team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like if you're not a first round pick, I just want to go to a good team that's competing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the recap I got. Um, Panthers are still struggling. I think you got to put Bryce Young back in. You need to see if it's time or not. I mean, you got two or a year and a half out, or a year and however many games.
Two.
So I think you got to put. I think you need to put him back in and ride him out. If not, you might as well just trade him now because there's no point.
Honestly, here's how I see it playing out, and this is if they don't trade him. If they don't trade him, yeah, go ahead and play him. Give him a couple weeks. If the offense starts to struggle again in a couple weeks,
It's
then
him.
you know for a fact it's definitely him.
Yeah,
Now
because Andy
at that
Dalton's at
point,
least scoring points.
yeah, at that point you either make the decision to keep him and let him develop, or you just go ahead and trade him off and get what you can right now, which probably won't be a lot because
Yeah, you might get like a sixth, seventh round pick,
yeah, based on what he's
maybe.
shown so far. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to give him away. That's gonna be a loss.
big
I mean,
loss.
you gave up a lot to get him,
So
but
honestly, I think they just got to ride it out.
yeah, but Andy Dalton's in there. At least they're scoring points,
Yep.
so you can't really say, well, their team sucks. Well, at least Andy Dalton's scoring points, and Andy Dalton's old, way out of his prime.
Yeah, it's true.
But let's jump into week 7. Some good games. Thursday night we got the Broncos Saints. I think the Saints can beat the Broncos. Spencer Rattler obviously will get to play. I think Derek Carr's gonna be out for a couple weeks. The Saints have lost 4 in a row, so they need to bounce back. They were on a good 2-0 stretch, and they haven't won a game since.
Yeah, that's tough.
They're 0-4 right now. So I
I
believe.
think I think the Saints can win if
Yeah, they
they
won their
get
first 2 games, and they haven't won a game since.
yeah if they can get the same output from Spencer Rattler in this game because the Broncos have a great defense. So if
Yeah,
they can get the same output, I think that's a game that they can win to kind of get back on track per se.
yeah,
Um, Same thing on the flip side for the Broncos. Um,
yeah. They're
there's kind of
playing. They're
parts
playing a
here.
backup quarterback with Spencer Rattler, so you kind of got to throw the Broncos. Just got to play defense and throw stuff at Spencer that he's not really ready for and that he hadn't seen.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to try to give him some different looks and try to put him in some difficult situations. So the best thing to do is just have, I'd say, like a simple game plan and try to keep him ahead of the sticks and not behind them because that's only going to put y'all in a bad spot. But
Yep, I
give,
agree.
give me the Saints. Give me the Saints. I'll say the Saints 17-13.
We got London. We got the Pats, and the Jags. This is probably going to be a hard game to watch. It's probably going to be like 7-3 or 10-7 or something. It's
I was
probably
going
going
to
to be
say
low.
9-6. I
I mean,
think the
you never know.
Jaguars will be
You
able to
never know.
score.
Drake May might light up the Jaguars.
I honestly, I don't. I want to say yes, but
I mean, he
it's
scored
tough to say.
21 points on the Texans. If he can score 21 on the Texans, he can score 20 points on the Jaguars. Their defense sucks.
That's yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And
So
even though the Patriots defense is pretty hurt, they're still pretty good. Even though they gave up 41 to the Texans, that offense is kind of nice. So
yeah, they just couldn't
I,
stop
I
them.
don't I don't know. I'm gonna say 17-9 Jags. I think
I'm
while
gonna say
Drake
the
May is
Patriots. I'm gonna say that Drake May gets his first win in London against the Jags. They're
I
playing
don't think
terrible
so.
ball right now. They can't hold on to the
Yeah,
ball. They can't do anything. They got blowed out by the Chicago. The Chicago was scoring at will. They probably could have scored 50 points. To be honest, they just didn't.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like if the Patriots win that game, they'll probably go ahead and fire Doug Peterson.
Yeah, for sure. We got the Texans and Packers. I think that's got the potential to be a really good game. I think the Texans will beat them. It is at Lambeau, but the Texans losing Nico Collins is going to hurt. It's time to see what Stephon Diggs. I think we're going to see a little bit more of Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, but I think they're going to lean more on Joe Mixon in the run game.
Yeah, I mean, before he got hurt, I mean, he was doing pretty good. Uh, I think their run game is great. Whenever they have Joe Mixon, it definitely helps to open up their offense too. So they're a tough team to beat when their run game is cooking. Uh,
Oh yeah,
Packers are what? Packers are coming off what? They're coming off a win or maybe two
yeah,
wins in a row.
yeah,
Something.
yeah. They won.
Jordan Love looked pretty good in the last game, so I think if he carries that momentum in, it'll be a great game. It has potential to be a very great game, but I think the Texans defense may be just a little too much.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go Texans 34, Packers 23.
this is probably going to be game of the week. The Lions and the Vikings.
Ooh,
This is probably going to be game of the week. I think the
ah,
Vikings dropped their first L right here.
yep.
One
I
reason
was
I
gonna
say
say,
that, Aaron Jones is hurt. I don't know if he's going to play. Um, and that's a huge loss. But um, I think the Vikings dropped their first L right here. The Lions are playing really good football right now. I know. I don't
yeah.
know.
I
It's
mean,
hard to say
they lost their best pass rusher, so I think that's definitely going to affect them. I still think they can
unless
win
they
the
go get
game.
somebody this week. Yeah.
I think they can still win. I think the Lions can still come out on top, but their defense definitely has to affect Sam Darnold. Because so far, Sam Darnold has been playing out of his mind. I mean, that offense is going to be a tough cover for anybody. So, like I said, if they affect Sam Darnold, I think they can win that game. If they have him play his worst game, they can hand the Vikings their first loss. Give me the Lions 20-17.
I think it's going to be more than that. I think it's going to be like 42-35. Both really explosive offenses. Um, I think the Lions will win though. They just got a little bit more pieces than the Vikings. If Aaron Jones doesn't play, that's a huge loss.
Yeah.
Um, got the Bengals and Browns. The Bengals got to win. The Bengals defense is struggling pretty bad. They played pretty good against the Giants, as crazy as that is to say, but they still held them to 7 points.
Honestly, y'all, the Browns just traded away their best wide receiver. So if y'all don't win this game,
They got
something
to fire
y'all
Zach Taylor.
y'all got to do something. I think I think y'all win this game in dominant fashion though, just because as bad as y'all's defense has been or is
Cleveland
continuing to
sucks.
be, Cleveland is not good. I mean, I'm pretty sure Nick Chubb still isn't playing. They just traded away their best wide receiver. Deshaun Watson is playing like trash. This is
Yeah.
a must-win game for y'all, and y'all have to dominate it. So Give me the Bengals 2014.
I'm going to take the Bengals by a blowout. I think it's going to be 35-10. Then they're going to blow them out. They need to. They should. Um, Seahawks, Falcons. That should be a pretty good game. I want to
Birds.
see. I want to see. I want to see the Seahawks bounce back. Ken Walker's back. Um, I want to see the Seahawks play a little bit better. I know they can, like you said. I think. I think it's Gino. They're coming off that high. Um,
Um, I think the Falcons make a run. I think the Falcons are about to make a run. They're playing some really good football.
yeah, they've
The
kind of
offense is
locked in
starting.
these last. They've kind of locked in now. They're playing some pretty good
Yeah,
football. They're kind of all. They've kind of got it together now.
yeah. The offense is starting to mesh. Kirk Cousins is getting real comfortable with everybody. So
It just took them a little bit, but one thing people got to realize: half that team's new. They brought in a bunch of defensive guys. They brought in Kirk Cousins. A lot of pieces on that team weren't there last year.
yeah, that's true.
I think then the Commanders are going to absolutely demolish the Panthers. They might beat them 42-12.
They might not. You
The
never know.
Commanders, yeah, if they could, yeah, they're not going to be able to stop the Commanders.
Honestly, no, you're right because they just went toe to toe with the Ravens and lost by a touchdown. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna say 42-10 Commanders.
unless I don't think it'll be that much. I'll say 35-10. Chiefs
Regardless, it'll be a
49ers.
blowout.
I think that's going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs are going to hand the. I think the 49ers are going to hand the Chiefs their first loss or who.
If the 49ers aren't fully healthy, I don't think they'll win.
Oh, they're not fully healthy. Jordan Mason's on IR.
Yeah, so
I don't know if he's on
I don't.
IR. Let me take that back, but I know he's hurt. He had an AC joint sprain, so yeah, he's probably not
I
going to
don't.
play.
Chris McCaffrey still isn't playing either, is he?
No, I don't know when he's coming back.
I don't know, man. I don't think they have enough. I mean, that Chiefs defense has looked really good so far this season, and
Well,
their offense even.
it does say questionable. Jordan Mason could return. So yeah, it doesn't have in the injury report. It doesn't have um McCaffrey. So I don't know.
I mean, their offense, the Chiefs' offense hasn't really necessarily struggled so much, even with the loss of Rasheed Rice and then the injuries that they've had to
Well,
deal with too.
Kareem Hunt looked like his old self in Kansas City last week. He tore up. He was tearing them up. He looked like the old Kareem Hunt. He was toting that thing.
Give me give me
I'm gonna take the
Chiefs.
49ers here.
I'm gonna say Chiefs 23-17. I think it'll be a close game.
And then I think we got another doubleheader on Monday. Well, we got the Jets Steelers. They brought in Devontae. Um, Russell Wilson's potentially getting his first start. I think the Steelers beat them. Then they're going to beat the Jets.
Yeah, I think this is the game that shows that even if you bring in Devontae Adams, it's still not going to change the fact
It's
that
going to
Aaron
take some
Rodgers.
time. Week one, they're not just going to come out there and just dominate. The Steelers got
Yeah, but
a really good defense.
honestly, I don't think them getting Devontae Adams helps them right the ship though, because
Yeah, he's not
oh,
protecting Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, I mean, if you can't fix that issue right there, it's going to be hard for. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is an improviser. He doesn't have to necessarily stand in the pocket to make all the throws, but I mean, at some point, he has to be able to be in the pocket though. He shouldn't be having to. He shouldn't have to scramble around
Yeah, you
three
don't want
out
him
of
to get
four
hurt. He's
plays.
just coming off of an Achilles. tear. You don't need him out. You actually really don't need him out there running around.
Exactly.
Monday night, huge game. Ravens Bucks. I think that's going to be a really good game.
Give me the Ravens.
I'm gonna take the Bucks. Bucks are playing some solid football right now.
Give me the Ravens. Derrick
The
Henry,
Ravens
20
defense,
carries.
the Ravens defense is not that good. I think the Bucks are going to light them up.
I mean, honestly, 27 points in a quarter against the Saints says the Bucks defense isn't all that great
Yeah,
either.
but Baker Mayfield turned the ball over 3 times.
Well, who's to say he won't do that against the Ravens?
So a lot of it was just on Baker, but they scored 50.
I got
Yeah,
Derrick
they
Henry,
gave up
20 plus
27, but
carries,
they scored
20 plus
51.
carries, 100 plus yards. They win the football game.
The Bucks got a good defense. I don't think Derrick Henry's going to run all over them.
Derrick Henry runs the football all over everybody. There isn't a team that he hasn't run the football all over, and the Bucks is one of them.
So I'm going to take the
So
Bucks. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to say the Bucks win 38-35. They're going to kick a field goal to beat them.
give me the Ravens, 33-27.
But then we got another Monday night game, but it's the Chargers and the Cardinals, and they both kind of suck. So
I'm not even gonna break the game down. I'm gonna just say I'm pretty sure
I'm gonna say,
Marvin Harrison may not play because he has a
I'm about to say,
concussion.
yeah, he's got a concussion, so they're probably gonna take him. They're probably gonna take that pretty serious. That's their face right now. So I'm gonna say Chargers. Yeah, I don't know if Marvin Harrison's gonna play. They got the brakes beat off them last week anyway. Kyler Murray sucks. I think it's time to move on from him. That's just my opinion, but I think the Chargers will get it done. Cardinals suck.
I'm gonna say Chargers 13-10, low scoring game, not super sufficient offenses. I mean, if that's all we got recap wise,
Yeah, that's all we got. That's all I got anyway.
yeah, I mean, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe. We're working on getting to our goals for our followers and subscribers on everything so we can start going live, maybe like, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, that kind of stuff. So, here in the next couple of episodes, we're gonna start like actually getting the numbers out there, so that way everybody that listens in can be updated. So that way when we
Yeah,
reach that goal, we feel like we
yeah.
gotta celebrate it, let everybody know. So
We've been on
just
TikTok a
go.
lot lately. I've been posting on that and been posting some videos on that. So just try to. I'll see if we can put like our TikTok logo on our YouTube. Maybe put it in the corner where you can snapshot it. Make sure you go over there. One thing, just got breaking news: owners approve Tom Brady's bid to buy minority stake of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hopefully he does something to help them out over
But yeah, we're definitely trying to get our followers up. Um, so we can go live. I didn't know that we could not go live without that, so we could really use y'all's help. Yeah, we'll work on getting our handles in the Facebook, or I mean the Facebook. We're gonna try and get our handles on the YouTube. Have little like the little things you can snapshot on your phone, scan. It'll take you right to our pages. We're also gonna post more on Spotify as well. We're gonna work on that. So just hang in there with us. We appreciate all y'all's listenings and comments on all of our platforms. Just we are growing. We do appreciate it. That's all I got. So whatever, what you got?
there. Oh no, I think you hit the nail on the head. There shouldn't be too much more I gotta say, but as always, we
Yeah.
appreciate everybody, and we'll catch you on the next episode.